On this edition of Commander's Log, we're still in the hiatus with Star Trek Discovery. That's why we're going back to the season premiere of season 2. The episode is called Brother, and Joshua Postel is in the building. He promised me he's going to show me his thong, but that's going to happen after the jump.
This episode of Commander's Log is brought to you by Geek Renaissance. Need that special gift for the nerd in your life? Love supporting small business? Look no further than Geek Renaissance. The artist Sephra makes all items by hand and will boldly go to the final frontier for your unique gift. Head over to geekrenaissance.company.site and use the code FLOBITO, that's FLOBITO, to get 10% off your order. Don't forget to follow, like, and share Geek Renaissance on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Oh, they said it could be done. They said we couldn't fill a hiatus, and we're making it happen. Hello, everyone. It's your boy, the number one on the USS Post show, Flobo Boyce, being joined by the Captain, John Weber.
Hey, what's up? All my fellow discoveries. Hey, Disco. Hey, Disco. Let's disco.
I'm more of a, Frankie Valli guy. And being joined by Joshua Postel. How's it going, sir?
What's up? What's up, guys?
Yo, where can I get tickets to your next show, Josh? What's up? What's the deal?
Still finishing out some road stuff down in Miami.
Nice.
Okay. Where at?
And then Villain Theater, Red Bar, Improv.
See this man live, y'all. See this man live.
Love him in Miami, folks. They love him down there.
Barely. Sometimes I do stuff and they they cringe because you remember this is, even though it's like South Florida, it's still Florida.
I used to live in Florida. I get it. I used to live in North Florida. I get that too. So for 4 years, it was St. Augustine, oldest city.
Some people here, you're just like.
Sounds to me you're living in fear. Welcome back to Commander's Log. This is episode 1 of season 2. This one's called Brother because we get some Spock action in there. Captain, we're trying to pick out the episodes to talk about in the hiatus. What does Brother look like on a second viewing to you?
That is a really fascinating angle to it, because I remember at the time that I first saw it, I was still in that hangover of, does she have to be Spock's brother? Does Michael Burnham, what a shoehorn to put Michael Burnham into Spock's child history. It was strange. It was weird. And we went a whole entire first season there of Discovery, not really addressing it other than, she's Vulcan. She's Vulcanish, Vulcanesque. Right. And she delivers, me. I love Burnham. She delivers. But what was the deal with that? And
what is the deal?
What's the deal with the sister? She's a Foster, but her name is Burnham. I love all the accoutrement they put around it. And that's why it's so exciting for me. So I'll just talk about the things that happened at the very end of season 1, where we see the Enterprise, where the camera goes out of the bridge of the Discovery, flies into space, and you see the arrival of the Enterprise.
Orgasmic.
I was just having my biggest nerdgasm just watching that. And the we're being hailed by Captain Pike.
When I was like, hello.
Just joining us.
Some Captain Pike.
Just joining us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you so much. This is Commander's Log. Just got some confirmations on chewing platforms. Kind of late on StreamYard's end. Thank you so much. Awkward. Presented by Geek Renaissance, man. Josh, man, same thing. I mean, Captain Pike is a fan favorite for longtime friends of the franchise.
Oh, absolutely.
This is my time.
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, this is my first time ever seeing Pike. The first time I saw this episode, I was like, who the hell is Pike? Why does everyone care about him? What was it like to you seeing the arrival of the Enterprise?
That was total nerd porn orgasm.
you have the thong
and
or
then
not?
people are like, but the struts are wrong. I was like, I'm gonna beat you with a. It's like people literally flip. They're like, that's not the Enterprise. I was like, oh my.
So let's talk about this because this is a thing I've come across. I was on another show, Star Trek show. I watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan for the first time ever. Yes, I'm that guy. Anyway, there is that balance between fan bases, Josh, where like people are like, "Oh man, it needs to be the same way it was back then," versus, "Hey, look, that show was like 60 years or 50 years ago. How are you going to make that right?" Where would you stand, and why do people care that much about the way buttons are laid out or how the bridge design is on stuff?
Because fan bases are obsessive to the point where it's. Oy.
Wouldn't you say? I mean, that's a great principle. Let me finish it for you.
Oh, the fan bases.
Because fan bases average out to like the lowest level of intelligence.
That's true.
Yeah. Why is that?
True. It's a lot like a comedy club audience sometimes. You just go,
No, he's right. He's right. Like it's
Yeah.
for those who don't do comedy, and Josh is like professional comedian here. I'm a hack. Sometimes you got to set up jokes multiple times in certain regions because some people just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like I had a Netflix joke at one time when no one didn't have Netflix. When Netflix was still on DVDs, and people were like, "Huh?" It's like it's a thing you can stream.
God forbid you have a fraternity or a sorority or like a ladies who lunch group or like a bachelorette party in the audience because they bring everything down to their level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to play to the whole audience as if they're as drunk as those tables, as ignorant as those tables. Yeah.
Yeah, or make them look bad. So Sexy Pike goes aboard and he's like, "I'm taking over the ship, y'all." And Saru is like, "Ganglia gang, man, how dare you? Here's the reasons why you can't." And he's like, "No, man, I don't care because 3 contingencies for those who haven't seen the episode: imminent threat detected, lives of Federation citizens are in danger, and no one equal or higher rank around to mitigate." Dang. Now, John, in season 3, Saru becomes captain, but you can tell his heart's broken here, man. And then when I was watching this,
he already wanted
he
it.
wanted it. I feel like I was supposed to hate Pike. Was that like something you guys felt that when this happened? Were you supposed to hate him like Kirk did in the first movie?
Isn't that interesting? I think they were trying to show you that he's going to do the work to prove that he's a good guy. Which is funny because they sort of accidentally put his entire record up on the big screen.
Sure they did. You got docs in space, bro.
Whoops. It's a PDF. I don't know how to close it. Like but I mean, it works. Everything that they did to serve that works. And Anson Mount, the actor who plays Christopher Pike, is
Kids.
He is so good. The big job he had right before this one was playing Black Bolt on the TV series The Inhumans, which is terrible because he doesn't speak.
Yeah,
he's a good actor, but in that role, he's mute or has to be mute. But what I will say is they really found a nice way of playing up the superhero aspect of this strapping young man who is your captain on your 5-year mission.
Josh, there's a lot of interpretations of Pike. The first Pike I've ever saw was Bruce Greenwood in the Star Trek J.J. Abrams movies. This guy is way different, but he's kind of loose, kind of like cocksure, kind of like cool with the guns. But I thought that was something that'd be ascribed to Kirk. No?
I think more captains are probably like that. Especially at that point, the 23rd century was still bold, brash. It wasn't, the relatively civilized 24th, let alone the sort of disconnected, aloof.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Hot takes. The man shut him down.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, if you got to freeze on Josh, that's a good shot to freeze on.
Oh, yeah,
he looks very
absolutely.
handsome.
Well, he's back, baby. What up, man?
You were doing great, by the way, Josh.
He was.
That's Wi-Fi's fault. That's not.
Yeah, he's having a day, baby.
Don't make me have to come out there and discipline the Wi-Fi.
Sounds kinky. Yeah. So my first impressions of this whole idea, right? Look, the way season 1 ended, Enterprise looked majestic. I was on board, and I like the fact that Pike was so much more like secure in the captain's seat, and the way he was like, being super open with the bridge crew felt like fan service for us, the Discovery fans. We were like, Detmer was cool, but who is Detmer? Who is Reese? Who was Bryce? And that was kind of a dope scene for me. Did you guys have a similar vibe of that, or was it kind of like, I don't care with these guys, get back to the ship? What was that?
It was more like you're watching this and you're going, yeah, just give me more Pike. The rest of them.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was like, because he just exuded cool.
Yeah, he did, kind of.
He just exuded, but that's the thing with a guy like that. He's just gonna suck up all the air in the room, and it's not gonna be.
Okay,
it's almost like
disagree.
He's so larger than life.
I disagree. Well, actually, maybe I do agree. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You're absolutely wrong, all right.
What I love, a moment that was the most Christopher Pike moment, and it's new. It's not like based on anything we've seen before, where he doesn't know the bridge crew. Well, let me jump back, right? He doesn't know them. Just took over. And let me jump back too, because in the previously, or actually last season on Discovery, during that, they make a big deal about that moment where the Admiral is saying, we have to do the wrong thing. We can't risk everything just to save people and just to do, the right thing. And Burnham's like, we will mutiny if we have to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And all the whole bridge crew stands up. Everybody stands, and Saru stands up and says, "We are Starfleet." And that
was beautiful.
And that's where you go, this is a bridge crew. Finally, this is a bridge crew.
Yeah,
they coordinate, and we have moments where that comes back in this episode too, which is so exciting and just gets me right here, man. So I love that. I love the fact that the most Christopher Pike moment is he goes, "Okay, roll call," and everybody's like, "What? Huh?" Yeah. He's like, I need to know your names. Don't tell me your rank. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And that's a leader right there.
Yeah. Because when the shit hits the fan, doesn't matter what your rank is. You're all in the shit together.
I need to hear ideas, people. I'm not going to judge whether it comes from an ensign or whether it comes from a lieutenant commander. And that's a leader. That's a captain right there. And it's a personal style.
And the other thing you like about him is he knows what happened with Lorca.
Yes.
He's trying to earn their trust.
Right. He doesn't
The other guy turned out to be
he's the best captain
ever. Mr. Mirror Universe.
I hated Pike when I first saw him. That's the point I'm getting on to. And his reason I hated him because he wasn't Lorca. No. I didn't like Pike for this reason. When you see the Discovery, the Enterprise is disabled, so the reason why he's on the bridge is fine. So I'm not saying I hate it because the storyline's dumb. It makes sense. Him as a character, and even though I love, and John knows how much I love Commander Nhan. She's my homegirl. Mm-hmm. The first season for Discovery was like entrance for me into Star Trek, and I felt like it was for me. But from 20 minutes in to season 2, it felt like they were trying to reach this other master of saying, "Hey, Laps fans, we're part of the crew too." And when Pike showed up, I go, "Wait, that was a guy from that movie that J.J. Abrams came out at the time." And I go back and research and figure out things all over again. So as much as I like Pike, it was like the harbinger to, what you thought was accessible and for you, it's not for you anymore. So it took me a long time to come around to him. That's why I like to ask long-term fans, how do you guys feel about this character who was basically mutilated in older versions, coming back and being like, "Hey, what's up?"
Absolutely. I mean, even the story behind why they had to switch actors and make him mutilated, which is because Jeffrey Hunter died. Jeffrey Hunter was killed, I believe, in an accident. And so the longtime fans, so me and Josh are repping those folks. We know that Pike is part of the 23rd century. We know he's part of Enterprise history. He's part of Spock history. He's a very important figure, but we don't know a whole lot about him outside of the cage or menagerie.
Yeah.
Hey, I know this. Nice. I'm smart now, y'all. Get over me.
Captain America over there. I get that reference.
I get that reference. What up, Saint Sleep?
Hey, and so there is a lot of there's a lot of tragedy associated with Pike.
Yeah.
And I think longtime fans carry that burden. Like, oh, you know how, and later on, I'm not going to give everything away, but later on, we do find out that he sees the future at one point.
He sees how he's going to end up, and he still accepts it and still goes forward.
They're dreams. They're not real. What's his problem?
He's Anson. What does he have to worry about?
Get over your wuss. So I guess we're all in agreement here. We're pro Strange New Worlds. Then we're like, yeah, more than
big time. Big time.
This thing hasn't even dropped, and I'm already drooling.
Yeah, come out in May. I'm looking forward to it.
Just the sense of humor and the humanness that Pike displays. He's just such a great character.
My favorite line of the episode is when he was giving out orders and was like, Detmer, fly good. I was like, fine. I was damn, that's sexy. You're smooth. You won me over.
Yeah, and he does it with the whole like finger gun, like boom, you boom, and Detmer fly good. And Detmer's like,
it was in a way you wonder if it was almost foreshadowing Kirk's dumber moments somehow.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it was like Detmer being like, finally,
Shatner being just Shatner, and you're just going, oh dear God, no.
That makes me wonder, though. I mean, look what Anson Mount is doing with the swagger. There is swagger, but not too much. And with Shatner, there was always too much.
Yeah. I want a captain's woman. What? So this idea of why the Enterprise is disabled. There's some signals actions out there, and plus we were just talking about this episode that came out 3 years ago. We can spoil till the cows come home. Josh, looking back on season 2, the whole Red Angel thing, the energy signatures, fan, didn't like it, loves it. What'd you say on it?
It was good, but you just wonder if they could have done more with it somehow.
Okay.
There were these moments when you're like, where is this leading? It was like, it felt like breadcrumbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're just wondering, okay, what's the connection? That it was very disjoint. It got better as the season went on. You start seeing more of Section 31, Leland, Control.
Right.
You see all that other stuff, but at the beginning, it just was completely random. I will say the Terrelysium episode was good.
Right. Yeah.
Very powerful, very moving.
Yeah.
Very well written.
Yeah.
That scene at the end where like the one guy in the village kind of figures out before he meets Pike in uniform, and then when he meets him, he's just like, all right, Earth still exists, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have a ship. You fly among the stars.
Right. And this is the episode that comes right after this one,
just
right?
like, we can't intervene in the development of your world.
Yeah.
Right. Was General Order 1 in this series, right?
Oh, yeah.
General Order
It's
1.
also very Discovery, isn't it? Discovery likes to do these season-long story arcs. They like to drop you breadcrumbs, as Josh points out.
Right.
Lead you down the road through the mystery. They don't rush. It's very, very Discovery. And I kind of hope that they won't do Picard season 2 like that. They won't do Brave New Worlds like that, because Discovery already kind of has this long format kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's not, we're TV watchers. We like our instant gratification where we can get it,
Yeah, it's kind of weird that where you have
It's kind of like you want your junk food now.
Yeah. Well,
That's
because if CBS is going to drop weekly episodes and then you have a season-long arc, that's kind of like the worst. Like, I understand it's a curry up like discussion, but the brand of Star Trek is big enough that you don't have to do that. You can give me cake and fries or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But back to reiterate my point before, season 2 pissed me off because every episode was a homework assignment. Like every episode was like, why do we care about Talos 4? Who the hell are this? Like, who's that? Like,
that was total fan servicing.
But that's what I'm saying. But for me, it was like, wait, you're leaving me behind. I have no idea with all this stuff. It came at me fast. It was like Klingon. Oh yeah, there's going to be time jumping in the future, and there's Spock, and there's Sarek, and there's a girl named Amanda. Oh, a woman named Amanda. That's actually her mom. To me, it was like, whoa, this is not for me anymore. Am I going to jump off? And I was relieved at the end of the season when they decided to jump ahead in time. I was like, finally. Now I can be back to where the hell I was going on. But season 2 was like, here's the president of the Enterprise.
I wonder. No. I think you're really on something, because I remember seeing when they started season 3, I remember seeing Sonequa Martin Green being interviewed, and she's like, finally, we're out of the canon. Finally, we don't have to be in the past anymore. And I think everybody on the show felt boxed in by this is 10 years before the original Star Trek series, so we can't break anything that shows up in TOS, and we have to stay in the box. And science fiction doesn't function like that,
right? Yeah.
So
right, Josh?
I think you're right. I think you're right, Flobo.
I'll take it. I'm never right though. Let's talk about the mission here. There's some energy signals. There's the distress signal that kind of mixed up with that. But what was cool before that, though, because it was the thrill ride of the pods and Connolly basically mansplaining himself to oblivion. That was so awesome. He's like, take that, and he wasn't even in a red shirt. Josh, we don't really see these pods too often in the series, but what do you think about this? Having this mission on hand, having this like asteroid battle sequence that's straight out of an Atari. What are your thoughts about that?
That was great, except for the fact that like watching it was giving me massive vertigo.
Okay.
I was like,
yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah, it was every time they do that, I'm like, oh no, I can't watch I'm watching like this.
Put space. Actually, when I had migraines, I was that way. I was always doing that. One of the things was like, like doing one eye closed, like, it's cool. I remember watching Man of Steel that way. I hope he wins.
Only breathing through the left nostril.
It's my method.
Stay down, Lunch. Stay down.
So, John, Captain, we get to the Hiawatha, which is one of the cool parts of the series because you meet one of your favorite characters in Jet Reno. But even before you even get to Jet Reno, you have this wreckage of just like strewn parts and bodies and all that kind of stuff, the real moody stuff. Did this end up being a surprise to you? You thought that was going to be a threat of the week? I mean, does that happen often in all classic Star Trek, this downshift that needs to be saved?
No, not at all. This is fairly Star Trek dialed way up, pretty much. You have a ship, there's no way of saving it. You have a situation where they're walking into this big sort of haunted house. We don't know what's going on in there. Mm-hmm. We've already lost a guy. We already lost Connolly at this point, which, oh God. If you're
was like, he wasn't even wearing a red shirt. And I was like, he's about to die.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, he's about to die.
He was such a dick. He was such
a jerk. I was like,
I actually love that actor for creating a character so thoroughly unappealing that when he gets killed, you're like, well.
So totally just
I mourn, damn it.
Redshirt the guy. Redshirt him now.
They redshirt the blue shirt. You guys didn't think that was going to be Commander Nom's going to get killed? Not at all. I thought she was.
But when we get to the Hiawatha, I really can't remember when I started getting this feeling, but I started getting this feeling of, I just love the line where they show up, where the red the red presence is. They still don't call it the Red Angel yet. And I love Pike going, where the hell's my red dot?
Yeah.
Just such,
He has things to do.
good. So now, now they have to see if there's anybody to rescue, if there's any rescuing they can do. And they actually find this was a medical ship. This was a MASH unit. And people who were wounded by the Klingons in the Klingon War couldn't be evacuated from the ship. So Jet Reno stayed. And again, we get that. So you stayed? And she's like, of course. They needed me. Of course I stayed. I'm Starfleet. Bam.
Bitch. That's it.
You
That's
serve. I mean, what does Burnham say? She's like, I'm sorry, sir, but if there's any chance we can save one of our Starfleet brothers or sisters, we're not leaving.
So, Josh, come on, man. Why save everybody? Starfleet, you leave for yourself, right? I would have left.
No.
Why? Why? Don't listen to
John. Did we somehow get stuck with Mirror Universe?
No. Oh, wait.
I have the beard.
Mirror image Flobo. You know, I've met beardless Flobo, and he is evil.
No, Mirror Universe.
Is the opposite? Like he doesn't have the beard?
In the Mirror Universe, Flobo doesn't have a beard. Flobo's 500 pounds. He never lost the weight. He didn't
exactly.
give it.
Have the afro, no beard.
He didn't care. He's a monster of a man. He's
Right.
a terrible, terrible man.
No, but really.
Very successful, though.
She didn't have to stay behind. I mean, come on. 10 months is a long time.
But that's Starfleet. That's what you're supposed to do.
This is
that was on the brochure. That was on the brochure.
This is one of the things you love
It's
about
never
Jet
in the
Reno.
brochure.
One of the things you love about Jet Reno is Jet Reno does what Jet Reno does. She calls her own shots. And your great engineers, Scotty, Chief O'Brien, your great engineers are all like that. Look, man, I got my own way of doing things. And that's why I'm so excellent.
Yeah.
And Tig Notaro's very believable as that, too. Which I
Your own way, huh? To the break with you. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's fine.
Cole, they will do everything they have to, bend every rule, violate every law of physics, as long as it doesn't rip apart existence, and as long as you don't get disciplined by Starfleet. That's it. That's an engineer.
It's a lot of ifs, man. It's a lot of ifs.
People can say what they want.
Starfleet, it's always a lot of ifs.
People can say what they want about the J.J. Abrams movies. I think Simon Pegg's version of Scotty is probably one of the best versions of a Star Trek engineer.
I still remember that. Do you stick my impersonation or not? Accepted.
I mean, he's crazy. This one's legit crazy, and I love that about him. So Jet Reno's I think she's more a spin-off him than a spin-off anyone else, honestly.
Absolutely. Because Doohan never played Scotty like that. He was always he was nuts, but he was never like Simon Pegg, comedian, batshit nuts.
I always felt that James Doohan's was he was like a two-fisted hard drinking nerd.
Oh, yeah.
And
really,
I have a lot of friends who are like that, and they love him. He's like their alpha wolf. They love him. So
alpha nerd. Nice,
the alpha nerd. and so we get that with Tig Notaro. Tig Notaro creates the kids. She creates these droids that will kill you if you mess with them. She creates traps that can decapitate Klingons. Like, she's tough. And I did some of my extra reading, which I like to do.
Oh, reading? What's that about?
And Tig Notaro actually had a really hard time with the technobabble speak.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah. I mean, John, you know that's the reason why I haven't gone to acting. It's just memorizing big words. I can't do it. I respect the hell out of that, man.
It can be rough. It can be rough.
Like CSI, what happened? He got shot. Did he? Like, I wouldn't know what to say. 1-4 stronger. No, I couldn't do that. That'd be worse.
I have some friends who are making one of these, sort of fan film kind of deals about Star Trek. I don't know how far along they are right now, but they were like, we'd like you to play the ship's doctor. And I'm like, I will pass.
Right. Unless you're paying me more than pizza and beer.
I do not want to learn all that medical speak.
Yeah.
have to say it with a camera 3 inches from my face. No.
Sounds like a
No,
punishment.
sir.
So not to bury the lead there. I mean, they got most people off that ship there, Josh. But there's
Mhm.
two little caveats to the story. Burnham had her hand on a little bit of that asteroid, that MacGuffin for the week. But in her grand delirium and getting her leg sliced through, she had a vision, an angelic vision of what we call the Red Angel.
Angel. Yep.
Yeah,
If you will.
if you will. We now know what it is, but at the time, was it? Do you think would be a scientific reason, or were you looking for something more fantastical, like a people?
I figured this had to be something scientific.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm like, angel sounds almost like a red herring, right? Like, oh yeah, it must be a spirit. Nah, it's science.
I'm like, there's never, because it's Star Trek, right? It's based on, and Star Trek, one of its appeals for me is always it's kind of based on real science. So I'm like, the moment they start messing with metaphysical stuff, I'm like, okay, someone better have been smoking weed.
Now,
someone better have been smoking space weed.
What about the Bajorans, right?
On like Andorian mushrooms or something.
What do you know about Andorian mushrooms?
Hail, hail, fire and snow, friendly angel, we will go far, far, far. There was an angel on the show. Now, granted, he was a bad alien, but they've done it before.
I figured it was some kind of alien.
Right, yeah. I mean, but I thought it might be one of those, like from Thor, one of those deals where science that's so far beyond us just seems like magic.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I was going to say, I thought it was something religious wise. I thought it'd be kind of cool dynamic of what science is. And going back with DS9, that was the whole Bajoran thing. They were like religious people, alien race, religious race.
You had the prophets or the wormhole aliens. There was the paw, the sense of the paw, that your paw is strong. You had the paw wraiths who were demons. Yeah. You had a very metaphysical setup in DS9, which I loved, by the way.
Well, not to bury the lead of everything else there, Joshua Postel, but we get our first look at Spock, but it's a kid. Baby Spock, y'all. I know this has been a point of contention for Discovery faithful, but introducing how Michael gets involved with, I don't know, Family Spock. I don't know what they call their last name is, but what was you thought about that?
That was pretty good. It was a little disconcerting to see Spock just totally misbehaving and being roguish, dumb, and you're just like, oh, I want to see him get his Vulcan dick fried and something.
The kid's like 5, man.
Get, like, zapped.
I don't think he has a dick. Stop. Oh my goodness.
You see, John, I am traumatizing Flobo.
What kid is not a brat? Kids are always brats. They become teenagers and they're like, oh man, mom, dad, I want some money, bro. Like, that's a fry your dick off.
Like him as like a little kid, it was just so weird. You're just like, no. It was funny, but there were just moments when you're like, oy.
I have it here written in my notes. Baby Spock's eyebrows. What?
I mean, yes, Queen. Talking about shape.
I mean, those eyebrows.
The art department needed to work on that. That was my first reaction. I was like,
each of his eyebrows was a Joshua Postel mustache. That's how bizarre they were.
So much weird stuff about this mustache all week. From comics here, from comics on Zoom.
This is why we're doing.
I got like one comedian who's like ready to jump me.
Jump you because of your mustache? Wow, tough crowd.
Well, he was also tripping the entire time.
That will do it. Yeah,
that sounds like a
he
comic.
Was clearly tripping on a Zoom mic.
Bro, your mustache, man! I must slay it. I must slay it.
No, he's like, I must have it. I was like,
oh, that kind of jump. No wonder you had a thong at the handy.
I was like,
people like how it tickles.
He's in Europe.
I mean, hey,
Joshua. Wait a minute. Oh, Joshua, I like very much how your walrusy mustache is all walrusy and shit. Yeah, I dig it, mate. Yeah.
Wow. That was pretty good, man. I'm going to put that in your actor card. Speaks British Cockneys. Like, what did it surprise you guys that Spock and Michael were not friends off the rip? Like, would it have been worse or better for the canon if they got along off the top?
Not much story
Probably
there if they
work.
get
You
along, right?
you needed some conflict there, otherwise
Okay, great.
it's not gonna work.
Right.
Yeah.
Setup question. Secondary question. When you have the conflict, a lot of people are saying, hey, look, she's not even part of the family. They have Spock acting out of character. This was the jumping off point for me. But I just think they were a bunch of haters. Am I wrong there, John?
No.
No.
I mean, there were moments when I was like, I didn't like it, but then I was like, okay, there has to be a dynamic
Right.
of why things turn out the way they do. So you're curious about it.
I guess my question is, did it have to be the Spock family? I think it does. But people were saying, well, Michael was raised by... Okay, great. I didn't know what you guys said on that. People were saying, hey, look, she could have been raised by a Vulcan family, but it didn't have to be the Spocks.
That was me. That was I was there. And I feel like this season they earned it. You know, they were like, no, we're putting it together. It's an interesting story. And I could look at it and go, yeah, okay, I'm with you. But at this point, I was like, like, I don't know if you remember on Deep Space Nine when they introduced the Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. The Klingons. The Klingons. There was a Klingon war, and then the Klingons became their comrades against the Dominion, and just Klingon. I loved it, but I remember a lot of fans at the time like, oh, their ratings were bad, so they had to shove Klingons in there. And I think that happened here with Spock. It was like, we want to make Michael Burnham very different from the other, people from Earth, so we're going to make her a Vulcan. She was raised by Vulcans, and we need a little credibility, so it's the Spocks. Got it. Yeah, I was kind of there like, meh, that's a shoehorn. I don't know. But I ended up liking it.
Yeah, I can see that. But like when you look back at DS9 when they were doing that with the Klingons, they're trying to show you that the Federation and the Klingons are now allies, even though there's a ton of tension and they don't trust each other.
Right. The differences
they really don't
pronounced.
Trust each other.
Yeah. And the two different, the Klingon Empire is very different from the Federation of Planets. Yeah. I appreciated that.
And I wonder what, as a little aside, I wonder what happened to the Klingons in the 32nd century.
We don't know.
We do not know. And only the art department can tell us.
Here's what I like that I want the Klingons to be. I want them to be a little bit like season 1, where they had an empire, it was massive, and it fell. And there's that sense of pride trying to build that up. I think, and I want to choose my words carefully here because they could be really, really clumsy when you try to compare them to humans. There are so many cultures here where we have that. We've descended from this royalty or this empire, or this what it was. And even though the Klingons look a certain way, that story is always great when you find the modern generation trying to go back to what kings and queens or they were. So that's what I kind of liked about the first one. The first one were different houses of this royal family saying, hey, look, we had influence. What can we do to have influence? That's what was cool. That's why I see, like, when they play, I don't play it for last, but when aspects of Klingon culture is used in TNG, like, oh, this week I'm ascending, or this week I'm having Klingon ale. It's like, wait, hold on. You know what I mean? It's cultural appropriation, but it's made up. I don't understand. I'm all confused. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great way to sort of pull a lot of fans in who, look, a lot of Star Trek fans identify in different directions. One of the reasons why I thought season 1 was so important for Michael Burnham was because she was so emo.
Yeah.
She was like the dark loner, like nobody understands me.
Right.
And a lot of fans feel that way. and with Klingons, it's like, well, I love Star Trek, but I also love ray guns and sword fights and, the fantasy elements of space opera. I love that too. So the Klingons are that. They've got their batlets and they battle for honor. And, so you bring in fans, you make fans more engaged when you give them stuff that, they like in other genres.
Yeah. We'll say you, Josh.
Yeah, I happen to agree with John on this one. Seriously, they need to give you a little bit of everything to keep everybody interested. Otherwise, it's
Yeah. And I don't mind other people's stuff most of the time, just as long as you get around to me too.
Yeah.
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 But Star Trek is weird in that it usually does that.
Yeah.
Most sci-fi franchises don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how it is. This is how it tastes. You will like it. If you don't, get the fuck out of the room.
I try a lot of these other sci-fi shows, and because of that reason, I'm like, well, we're locked in. We're locked in. I don't feel like this is going anywhere. So I'm gonna stop watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of variety. Hey, IDIC, man. Infinite diversity and
infinite combination. Yep.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I like the science of the stuff. This is why I'm pro DMA in season 4. And then I also like the expansive space, like the different planets that just have to be on different side of things. So even if you don't have a geopolitical conflict on a planet, the fact you visit them and they have different races on that planet, much like the Green Lantern Corps. But we realize in this episode that Spock is not missing, but because, he's not gone, but he's not there either there, Josh. Now we have ourselves a search for Spock, kind of, sort of. Now, again, I'm not an old school fan. I thought it was a cool mystery. Did that seem like a retread at the time? Hey, man, we gotta go look for Spock now. This is bull crap.
Because Spock went off and did some mushrooms and was off on a bender. That was like the whole vibe of it that you got. Like he did something very un-Vulcan, un-Spock-like, and it was like the Federation's after him, Section 31's after him, his sister's chasing him. Like, this is going to be one massive. This is either going to be a bloodbath or one massive intervention.
Kind of got both.
Yeah, kind of.
And what I love is she goes into his files, so she's listening to one of the log entries that he puts up, and Ethan Peck plays.
Yeah, he is.
Spock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And am I the only person who, when I heard that voice, I went, "Oh my God, that's a really good imitation of Leonard Nimoy."
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, "Whoa, there can't be two guys on Earth doing that." No,
I mean, he put the work in, man. He put the work in on that voice. He sounded like younger Nimoy and older Nimoy.
That was eerie.
And I wonder if that turns some people off too. Like, oh, he's still a Nimoy. Yeah, boo.
I'm sure that turned people off.
You can't win. Either you want to be a nostalgia actor, your own thing.
Like John, like you said, the baseline with fandom, it's so fucking low.
So let's be honest.
It's worse than comedians with their audience. It's so bad.
Yeah, I'll say that. I feel like comedians are more likely to be supportive. Wrestling fans are a little less so, but Star Trek fans have a very, very, very niche look of what their Star Trek is, which I think is the reason I do this show. Not to be like, Discovery's the best, but like when I have guests on or other people, I go, what is true Star Trek? And they tell me the elements. I'm like, well, this show has it. What are we talking about here?
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
I mean? Like, what's the big deal?
For sure.
Fans suck. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
come back next week.
The specifics change from Trek to Trek. The specifics, but that's it. The themes are still there. The unity is still there. The vastness, the many, the infinite possibilities, that was always there, and it's still there. So it's all Trek. Yeah.
Just kind of before I get to my final question, do you have anything else in your notes there, John?
Let me see. I love that Pike finds the leftover fortune cookie message under Lorca's desk. What? Yeah. Nobody cleans?
Yeah.
There's apparently the Starfleet cleaning service is out this month.
What, the Roomba is broken?
The
what
Roomba's
the hell,
broken.
Man?
Who replicates a fortune cookie? You know what I need right now? A snack with the most empty calories.
I'm telling you, Lorca was evil, and you knew just on that level because that's the cookie he prefers, the worst cookie
Cookie on
known
Earth.
to
Yep.
human beings.
Oh man, hot take. The worst one on earth? Wow.
Fortune. Well, I'm actually kind of stealing from Gary Gulman's act there, but still, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is the worst. It's you know, in the cookie world, if the fortune cookie is the worst piece of crap, the New York black and white's the best, and everything else can just go.
Oh,
That was actually my business. I was in an entrepreneurship class, and I said, "Hey, in New York City, a lot of my friends who are Jewish go get Chinese food on Christmas Day, right?" So, like, yo, how come we don't have black and white cookies and desserts? You know, I would love to have myself a matzo ball super side of egg foo young. Let's do it.
Oh,
Just saying. Put it out
that
there.
sounds good.
Print money, baby.
When I get back to the city, ooh, that's the first thing I'm doing.
So the fortune that Pike finds,
Unless I swing by LA first.
Hey, we got factors, Deli. Why not? Come on through.
the message that Lorca finds, or that Pike finds, that Lorca had found in a cookie, I guess, is not every cage is a prison, not every loss is eternal. I find that very interesting. The Captain Pike from the episode The Cage is reading this. That's unusual.
This is why he's a genius, Captain. Woo!
And
this is why you're the captain.
And has he already been through it by then? Has he already? Oh shoot, he hasn't, right?
No, it happened before the event of TOS.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, this happens before he goes to the planet and meets all the the big-headed guys and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What else did I have? Linus. We've got Linus.
Yes, he's great. He's great. I love him. Even in season 4, I love him. He's funny. This big bug-eyed dude is just he's like the comic relief.
He really is. And Connolly, who we already hate because he was supposed to be Spock. The science officer coming over, everybody expected it was going to be Spock. It's Connolly. Connolly turns out to be a dick. And then at one point, Linus, who has the Saurian flu, turns and sneezes on him, blows some lizard snot on him. And I can tell you from doing my research, that was digital. They didn't actually hit him with any gack.
Thank God. I mean, Lord, that would make me feel uneasy.
Otherwise, the doctors would be on their.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, how can Connolly get medically cleared now with like sorry snot all over
with lizard gack all over it?
Relax, it's CGI.
Apparently, that scene was so funny, and I don't know how many. You guys have been on a few sets in your day. And you'll find yourself shooting some scene at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. You're so tired. You're so exhausted. Apparently, Sonequa Martin Green couldn't stop laughing. They had to actually point the camera so you couldn't see her because the whole thing made her laugh like till she was crying. And one of the main reasons why is because the actor playing Linus, when he sneezed, he blew out his lizard teeth.
Ew. Oh,
it flew out of his mouth.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
It's even worse than the gag.
It's not just the gag. It's the teeth. It's the teeth prosthetic.
That's going to a role.
Alex Kurtzman, one of the great show running minds behind Discovery, was, of course, the director of this episode. And he said, honest to God, I wish we'd had a wider shot and we'd been rolling on that because I want to watch that over and over again.
Oh, come on. Linus is such a goofball. He's like trying to find the mess hall in the 32nd century with the thing. Like, this is the mess hall. What the
Yeah.
He's
Homer Simpson. He's like the Homer Simpson of the show.
I do miss him.
He is. And you need, and like when things get serious, you do need some laughter and some lizard gag.
Yeah.
I love it. That's now my new term. Thanks, John. Gag.
You're gonna put that in so many bits. Like, what is he talking about? So anyway, there's lizard cack in my napkin.
Hey, I stole it from Nickelodeon. That's what they call the green slime.
They did. I had Floam as a kid. My dad hated it. He's like, "You kids and your Floam." But my trivia for those who don't know, the guy who plays Spock, Ethan Peck, is the grandson of the actor Gregory Peck from Particular Mockingbird, legendary actor.
Hideous looking man.
Oh, I can't stand it. People
How
say,
can you
And
How
they
can
say
you
there's
look
no
that
such
man in
thing
the
as
face?
nepotism in Hollywood. Bullshit.
no. Hey, I'm a firm believer nepotism gets you in the door, but something has to be else to keep you in the door. Whether you know a good cocaine guy, whether you're really good, talented yourself, you just can't show up.
That's a pretty good read of Hollywood. It's pretty damn good.
So my final question for you fellas, start with you, Josh. In the Grand Pantheon of Discovery, where does episode rank for you? Season 2, season premiere.
In the Grand Pantheon,
Enterprise, you got Pike, you got a mystery off the bat, but then you got some filler in
it's
there.
definitely like a 7.5, an 8. It's good. It's a good way to get a season rolling, especially after the first season, which was just weird
great.
sideways turns. You know, like
it's perfect.
the space booger drive. That was one of the things that I had to get over to really get into the series.
That's why I like having
space booger drive that runs on mushrooms.
Yeah, I was all about that. I'm telling you, man. What? Because I feel like I'm the opposite. What made season?
I still like to joke about that to other Star Trek fans.
Yeah, space boogers, man. Space whales. It's just that season was perfect for me in so many ways. I won't ramble. John, what about you? What does this stack up for you in the Grand Pantheon of episodes?
I think this one is an absolute must for the simple reason that they knew they were coming back. They knew they had a hit at this point, and they were going to go forward. And so now it's time. Are you going to go big, or are you going to try to play it safe? And this episode is, here's what I say. You tell me what you think. This episode is a feature film.
Yeah, it is. It's that good.
It's that good.
This episode contained, or like the end of episode one?
It's well, it's a feature film in the sense of the scope. They actually start with that footage from the Cassini space probe, which is real, which really happened. And you've got Burnham saying "Space, the final frontier."
It's on brand. Yeah,
love that. And then you've got the very dreamy. You've got the very dreamy flashback to Burnham going to the house of Sarek. And I also wanted to throw this in. I don't know if this works for you guys, but being a comic book fan, I tend to love the mothers of my favorite superheroes. Or the mother figures. So Aunt May for Spider-Man, Ma Kent for Superman, Martha Wayne for Batman. Like, they loom large for me. They are these mother goddess characters. And now Amanda is that for me, because she is such a good mom. All of a sudden, like, she takes in this orphan girl and she is now her mom. And I just love that. This character of Amanda did it more for me than the character's ever done it before. I love her more than Sarek. And I've seen so much of Sarek,
Ooh, that's wow, dude.
I love
some people are gonna fucking hate for some people, them shit's fighting words.
And what's funny is the actress Mia Kirshman has done some stuff in her day, but not a whole lot of stuff. So even though I felt like she was way too young, I did really love her. You know what Mia Kirshman was a star of? Do you ever remember Dracula the series from 1990?
Like one of those syndicated shows?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah. It was terrible, but she was like the lead female.
Really? Wow.
Mia Kirshman.
1991. Oh, 1990.
Yeah. Wow. She is a good actress. I mean, just based on the work she did in the last episode of the first season, which we saw last week, and this one, she's a really good actress. I really enjoy her.
She looks like she hasn't aged a bit. Maybe she is Dracula.
Seriously.
She's like 47 going on 25.
I don't think she's had any work done either.
Okay,
taking a look at that woman, there's just something magical and special about this relationship between her and very young Michael Burnham, and I love that too, just the sweetness and the tenderness of that. And then you expand it out into all these action sequences, all these mysteries, all of these tense moments. Burnham's running while the Hiawatha is falling onto her.
That was great.
Which is
like.
Isn't that a scene from Star Trek Beyond, the J.J. Abrams?
Yes.
Like one of those big things is falling on them as they're running.
Yeah.
I feel like Kurtzman
Vengeance is slammed into San Francisco and it's coming down and everybody's running from it.
Right. It's I felt like this was Kurtzman's way of saying, look, I only have 60 minutes here, but I can make an awesome Star Trek movie too. Ding.
Eat your heart out, Fritz.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love
this episode really had enough elements that if you had the money and the budget and
throw another 30 minutes on it,
you could have a great standalone movie out of that completely.
Absolutely.
This is why I love you guys, man. Even though you guys always disagree with me and I hate you all, you guys are also good people. Miracle life, yeah. But we're at, what's up?
Hey man, it's not easy to be the ringmaster when you got these monkeys.
We're trying, man. Hey, Captain, fly good. Josh, thanks so much for being on the show, man. Like, we've talked to you about it at the beginning of the episode, but if I want to follow you, engage with you, buy your merchandise, see your economy albums, how I go about doing that, good sir?
You can hit me up on BigJSH2709 on Instagram.
That's like OnlyFans.
You can find me on Facebook at Joshua Postel, and on Twitter. Yes, I caved. I have Twitter.
Yay!
You really don't want me to start using it in earnest because I will get in so much trouble.
Hey, what's the Twitter handle? Let's do it.
At Joshua_Postel on Twitter.
Joshua and Captain?
At Starbase80 on Twitter. You can also find me Starbase80 on Facebook, and also Weber Internet Thingy for Starbase 80, including other shows that I will be doing. As soon as I can get the stage show open, we open tomorrow night. Thank God.
Woo!
Good luck, man. Well. Break a leg, buddy.
Thanks, man. We got a 3-week run, but I'm looking forward to getting back to doing more streaming because I love it. So thanks for having me on the show, Flobo, as always.
It's kind of awkward because I wasn't following Josh. He was following me the entire time. So I got to make this really quick. What up, Carson? How's it going? Thanks for so much. Hey, you promised you're going to wear a thong. You didn't do it. So let's talk about who let who down.
When I get out there, because I'm seriously thinking of moving west, boys.
Say the word.
I started looking around at places.
Say the word.
Hey,
yeah, John knows.
Come on out.
Yeah, man,
it's awful, but we're here.
No, we'll say it's great until you get here. Maybe say, hey man, that's LA for you.
I'll fix everything. You know, all problems, just turn me loose. I'll drive Garcetti nuts.
Wait, are you running for mayor? That's your campaign? I'll drive Garcetti nuts. That's sorry, you've got my vote. That's it for the Commander's Log. We'll be back. John, I'll be back on Sunday for Starbase 80. But in the meantime, you can follow me at Flobo Boyce. Like Joshua did weeks ago, apparently. I didn't realize it. That's awkward. That's for me, man. See you next week. But until then, live long and prosper.
Yeah, buddy.